Giles Dixon from Contract Store is going to explain to us about contracts. So Giles, what is a contract?
A contract is quite simply an agreement between two people or two companies, whatever.
And does it have to be in writing?
No, it doesn't have to be in writing. You can have a verbal contract, but the thing about a verbal agreement is that if there is any argument later as to precisely what was agreed, it's going to be difficult to prove precisely what was agreed.
And what are the basic elements of a contract?
There are really three elements: offer, acceptance and consideration. I make an offer to you to provide a certain service for a particular fee. You accept it. I make the offer, you make the acceptance, and the consideration is the money that you'll pay me.
What if I want to change something in a contract?
Well, if you come back to me with some changes, you're making a counter offer. I then have to decide whether to accept it or whether to come back to you again, and so we negotiate until we reach agreement.
And does it have to be signed, or is an email sufficient?
An email exchange can be evidence of a contract. And indeed, you can have email signatures to contracts nowadays. However, an exchange of emails might well leave some uncertainty, and you're far better off putting the agreed terms down in writing and then both parties sign them off.
Does a contract have to be written by a lawyer?
No, contracts don't have to be written by lawyers, but over the centuries, lawyers have developed ways in which contracts are written, and lawyers are trained to write contracts in a particular way and consider the risks. You'll agree directly what the precise scope of services and the pricing is, but have you thought about all the payment terms? Have you thought about the possibility of late payment and interest on payment? The possibility of variations, confidentiality, intellectual property, the right of one party or other to terminate in certain circumstances, how you handle defects, whether or not your liability is going to be limited, and what the governing law is going to be, and what sort of how you will resolve any disputes. All of those things are matters that a lawyer would contemplate when writing a contract for you.
And how much would it cost to have a contract made up for me?
If you go to a solicitor, it would probably cost anything from £500 to £5,000, depending on what you need. But I should say, and I speak as a solicitor, that lawyers work from precedents, from templates, and what they will do is to take one that they think suits you and then tailor it to meet your particular requirements. Now, if you don't want to spend that sort of money, you can go to a website such as Contract Store and buy a template. All our templates have been written by specialist lawyers, and they can be used as the first step for you to get the contract completed. And if you do need to go back to a lawyer, you're still going to save a lot of money, but you may find you can do it yourself without a lawyer.